Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, getting ready to break down your daily fantasy baseball slate. We'll also have some prop bets for you and our home run calls. Right now, we were just talking before the show started about the good old lottery. Now at $1.2 billion, I believe.
1.28. Straight billies. Straight billies.
So
today.
I guess I got to go get a ticket. I've never bought a lottery ticket in my life, but I think these, it's crazy.
Might be about time.
100 million doesn't do it for me, but 1 billion, yeah, I'll go buy a lottery ticket. Like that makes it a huge difference.
There is a huge difference in the cash payout. $747 million for the cash payout.
So I'm not as familiar with lotteries, being that I don't usually play. So do you get that money, or do you get it in one lump sum, or can you have the option to?
If you take the cash payout, you get it in a lump sum.
Sure.
If you just want the 1.28 billion, then you get it over the next 20 years.
Gotcha.
So
would you rather have it
straight cash,
just
homie?
Get it right.
Yep, me and Randy Moss, just straight cash.
Nice. Yeah, so that's exciting for today.
It is.
Any idea what you would spend your money on? I think about this all the time.
Do you?
I never know what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I would buy a nice car for my co-host.
Oh, gosh, gotta love her, right? The first thing I would do is probably kind of set up some properties, buy some properties, rental properties, set up my little girl, make sure she's good for life. And, I would be smart about most of it.
Responsible. Nothing like.
Wait, I'm not like the guy that wants like the flashy stuff. I don't need that. Yeah. Not about that life.
Yeah. All right.
So it's like people have asked me like, what if you could get any car, what would you get? And it's like, I'd probably get my truck. Like, I'm good with that.
Oh, I would definitely get it, really.
Oh, yeah? What do you get?
Myself. I don't know. I'm just making that up because I probably wouldn't.
And also, with this, I will make little announcements. Pay attention to our Twitter. We may have a couple lotto giveaways going on today.
Ooh.
So...
Speaking of giveaways, what is this T-shirt that is right next to you on your
phone? Boy, another T-shirt.
I saw something and
little LFG San Diego for Shannon.
Oh, thank you so much.
As a new resident to San Diego, you do need a Padres shirt.
Effing go San Diego.
We got it.
Which we've talked about, that rallying cry for the Padres. So I guess now I'm an official San Diego resident.
You are.
This shirt. And love the colors, very neon. And
now
matches my nails.
Now we just need Alfaro to hit another home run.
Yes.
Another walk-off.
Thanks for the T-shirt, Tyler. What a nice co-host.
Yeah.
So now we've got our Nasty Nestor shirts.
Yep.
And our Let's Effing Go Padres.
Let's do it. Now hopefully the Padres can get Soto. Let's do it.
I would like to see that. I'm a great friend like that. Like I can be happy for you, for your team.
Until
they face
that.
my team.
And you're going to get me a nice car when you win
exactly.
all the money. So
it's all friendship here on the On Deck podcast. Let's talk about, it's also National Intern Day. So we got to give a shout out to our interns that help us here.
Got a couple of them.
Every day, Cody and Max, super helpful with us. So thank you to them. Happy Intern Day to everyone else.
While we were shouting out, I also want to shout out Jason Hargrove.
Okay.
He listens to the pod, and he told me he really likes the show. So shout out to you.
Thanks for watching, Jason. We appreciate it. Certainly appreciate everybody watching. And speaking of which, if you are watching us on YouTube right now, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Say hello to us. Let us know what your plays are for daily fantasy for today. Now, speaking of daily fantasy, we've got 13 games on the slate for today, a big one. And speaking of the starting pitchers for today, 7 of the 19 pitchers on the slate for today have a qualified ERA below 3 today. So this is very much a pitcher's day. So let's get into our pitchers. First, we've got some weather notes, though. Can't forget that. Washington, there is a 61% chance of rain there. Cardinals are at the Nationals today. Royals at Yankees, 82 degrees there. 30% chance, some spotty, maybe on and off showers, but those winds blowing out to left 9 miles an hour. We've got in Boston, 84 degrees, 9 mile an hour winds to center. So some good conditions there for hitters. We've got the D-backs at the Braves, 85 degrees, 52% chance of rain. But those storms are looking like they're all going to be happening pre-game, so should be cleared by first pitch. And then the Dodgers at Colorado, 22% chance of rain, should be all before first pitch, so shouldn't be anything that affects the game too much. 76 degrees there, and a 10 mile an hour wind to center field to even boost that Coors Field effect even more. All right, let's get into our pitchers for today. We'll start off with our high-owned pitchers of the day, and we will talk Yankees righty Garrett Cole. Coltrane coming to the station today, going up against the Royals. 42% owned on DraftKings, 40% owned on FanDuel. So obviously, a lot of people flocking to the Coltrane. 309 ERA, 205 opponent average. In the last game against the Orioles, he did get hit. 3 earned runs on 9 hits, 6 strikeouts. But the 2 games prior, 12 and 11 strikeouts, respectively. So what are you seeing against the Royals?
He has been a bit of a K machine, but 5-star alert score. Royals are without Benintendi now. So that lineup is a little bit worse than it was prior. 28.7% combined K rate. He's the second highest projected pitcher on LineStar. Obviously has a great matchup. The one thing is that he does have a higher ceiling than Verlander. He has the highest ceiling on the slate.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of why most of the ownership is going towards him.
Right. So is it, with the ownership going there, still worth going with him maybe in DraftKings?
I would say you're probably going to want one of him or Verlander. However, as you mentioned at the top of the show, how many good pitchers there are today, I do not think it's necessary to go with one of these three
like the
high-owned
past few
guys.
days we've had to go Shohei, we've had to go with, but in this situation,
I think you can get away from them. You obviously can also play them if you want, but it's like Woodruff is going very unowned, and he's a great pitcher.
Speaking of the Yankees, though, I do have to mention this, that Judge is 1 homer away from 40 after yesterday's 431-foot walk-off blast. His third walk-off home run this season ties Mickey Mantle for the most by a Yankee in a single season. Now back to our originally scheduled programming. Astros righty Justin Verlander is going up against the Mariners today, 23% owned on DraftKings, 5% owned on FanDuel. He's got a 1.86 ERA, 192 opponent average, pretty lights out. And he hasn't given up more than a run in his last 5 starts. He's just been awesome. He also hasn't had less than 8 strikeouts in the month of July.
Yeah, so to start the season with Verlander, we were a little worried about his K stuff.
Right.
It wasn't totally there, but it's has shown up. Last 2 games against Seattle, he's gone 7 innings with 10.5 Ks and 1 earned run as his averages. He has the highest LineStar projection today, 4.5 alert score. The combined K rate is only showing 24%, but with his recent success against Seattle, I would kind of expect that to be a little bit higher.
Okay.
But I like Verlander, less ownership than the good old Coltrane,
even against the Mariners.
Mariners are a good team.
But Verlander's
But
better.
yeah, I mean, he's been really good against them lately, and just so much less ownership on him than Cole.
Sure.
So,
Guardians righty Shane Bieber is our next highest owned on the ownership projections. He's going up against the Rays at Tropicana, so a pitcher-friendly venue there. He's 24% owned on DraftKings and 16% owned on FanDuel. Oh, and the Guardians are now willing to listen to some offers for him, I heard. So he might be a...
Which is interesting because he's not pitching nearly as good as he has in years prior.
So that's interesting. But nonetheless, he is coming off a rough outing, like you mentioned, where he gave up 6 earned runs, including 3 home runs against the White Sox. What do you see from him today, though, against the Rays at a nice pitcher-friendly venue?
Yeah, he's fine. Of the 3 high-owned guys, though, I think he's the one that I'd be most likely to fade. And I see you're laughing because I said fine.
Yes.
But the thing with Bieber is his K upside just hasn't been there like it has before. He's at a 24% K rate this year. Years prior, he's been closer to 30. And over his last 5 starts, 19% K rate with a FIP of 4. Today's like combined K rate is 22%. I think you can get some more upside some other places, and without upside, I don't really want to follow the ownership.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at our low-owned guys then. See where we can get maybe a little bit different than the field. Brewers righty Brandon Woodruff is at the Red Sox today, 10% owned on DraftKings and just 2% owned on FanDuel. So Woodruff could be a nice play for you. 3.73 ERA, 2.28 opponent average. Last time out versus the Rockies, held them to just 1 earned run in 6 innings. He had 8 strikeouts. Also noticed that he hasn't allowed a home run since May.
Yeah, he's been amazing lately. And, I mean, he's a Cy Young caliber pitcher and going super under-owned versus a Boston team that has been struggling. Also, if you've been paying attention to their lineup, the lineup is so watered down right now. The Boston lineup is not kind of the lineup that we saw just crushing everybody a couple months ago. He has a 31% combined K rate, 4-star alert rating. I just think ownership is way too low on him for how good he's been, and he's been unreal lately. 1.5 FIP, 2.2 ERA, 34% K rate over his last 5. So I think there's a lot to like about Woodruff today. Okay.
Let's talk about Giants righty Alex Cobb going up against the Cubs today. 6% owned on DraftKings and 2% owned on FanDuel. 4.26 ERA for Cobb. Not a great outing. 4 earned runs on 8 hits. 5 1/3 against the Dodgers. But today it's not against the Dodgers. Yeah. It's against the Cubs.
Yeah. Cobb has quietly been really good. Like 3.2 FIP over the last 20, 2.6 over his last 5. The combined K rate is only 19%, but he is cheap. So, you know, you do have some upside there. The other thing is he's been way better at home. 3.02 ERA at home versus 6.03 on the road. And at home, he's striking out over 1 batter per inning. So I think that combined K rate might be a little low just because he's at home.
Right. And you like that pitcher-friendly venue as well. So.
Exactly. And again, cooler temperatures.
And the Cubs.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Cubs.
And the Cubbies. Rangers lefty Martin Perez at Angels. 2% ownership on both sites. 2.59 ERA, 2.38 opponent average. Last game against the A's, just 1 earned run on just 4 hits, 6 strikeouts in 7 innings pitched. And the Angels without Mike Trout is a very different lineup.
Yeah, you know, all year I've liked to pick on the A's and the Tigers, and now my favorite is picking on the Angels. They have just been awful, super strikeout prone, and Perez has been really good all season, 3.2 FIP, 22% combined K rate. He's at a cheap price with a pretty high ceiling. So I think there's a lot to like with Perez, especially being low owned.
Yeah. So we've got a ton of great options now. You kind of mentioned, let's say you're playing DraftKings. Are you going with maybe one of the higher owned pitchers, pairing that with a low owned? What's your play?
It kind of depends on the entire lineup as a whole.
Yeah.
If I'm going with, say, the Dodgers, who are incredibly high owned today, then I'm probably going to go with 2 low owned pitchers.
Yeah.
If I'm getting away from the Dodgers, then maybe 1 high owned, 1 low owned type deal.
Speaking of the Dodgers, thanks for that segue.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about our stacks for today. Our highest owned stack of the day, like Tyler mentioned, is the Dodgers. They're going up against the Rockies, and on the hill for them, it's Chad Kuhl. That's Tyler's favorite name in Major League Baseball right now.
I think it's by far the worst name in baseball.
4.48 ERA, 2.64 opponent average, and lefties are just absolutely shelling him. Freddie Freeman might be a good play. Last time out, got shelled by the Brewers, 5 earned runs, including a home run in 2 1/3. And Dodgers looked pretty good yesterday. 13-0.
I can't believe they didn't have a home run with 13 runs.
That is pretty wild. Yeah.
The one thing I do have to say about Kuhl is that he has been way better at home. 3.5 ERA at home with only a 2.50 opponent batting average.
Make it make sense. doesn't.
It doesn't, but Colorado has a couple players every season that are like this. Couple pitchers where it's, for whatever reason, they're way better at home.
Maybe they just like being at home and their routine and they're more dialed in. I don't know. But it's crazy to me.
Who knows? The other thing is Cool has actually been good versus the Dodgers. 45 plate attempts. They're only hitting 186 off of him. Mm-hmm. So those are kind of the reasons, you could maybe fade the Dodgers. However, it is the Dodgers. Yeah. Super good offense. Cool does get beat up by lefties. Dodgers have a lot of lefties. It's in Colorado. Winds are blowing out. I mean, the run total is way higher than everybody else.
Definitely.
There's a lot to like, but just remember, taking into consideration, Cool's a little bit better at home.
A lot of people also going to the Cardinals who are at the Nationals today. It's going to be the righty Anibal Sanchez. In 2 games, he's given up at least 3 earned run in each. He's given up 3 home runs in those 2 games. And so far, I know it's a small sample size, but righties are hitting .462 against him so far. So I can kind of see why people are in this matchup. And
Cardinals are a good offense. Anibal Sanchez isn't good. 7 earned runs in his 10 innings pitched so far. He's allowing 57% fly balls. So a lot of fly balls. The one thing going for him, though, is only 14% hard contact, 32% soft contact. So he's getting people to pop up is essentially what's happening. But all in all, Sanchez isn't a great pitcher, and the Cardinals have a really good lineup. I think they can get to him. It's no surprise that people are trying to pick on Sanchez.
All right, let's take a look at some low-owned stacks for today. See where we can maybe get a little different. Let's talk about the Blue Jays going up against Tigers righty Brian Garcia. Now, he hasn't really thrown more than 30 pitches. This might be an opener situation, I'm guessing. 7.55 ERA for Garcia with a 2.94 opponent average. So Blue Jays are looking pretty good today.
Yeah, so Garcia in 2021 allowed 2.3 home runs per 9. He hasn't pitched the major leagues this year, but in the minors...
so those numbers were 2021.
He's been decent in the minors. His pitch counts are up to like the 50s, so he's still going to be an opener situation. In the minors this year, 2.9 ERA. His career is a 3.48 ERA in the minors, so he's been good there. However, every time he's got to the majors, he's got shelled. The career 6.12 ERA. That's in like 9 or 10 starts, so it's not like it's a small sample size. Has he fixed something this year? Maybe, but I would probably say no, especially against a tough Toronto lineup. The other thing to note is that he is worse versus lefties than righties, and that Blue Jays lineup has a ton of righties. So, but you get him out of the game early. The bullpen's meh.
Yeah.
So you can really get to the Tigers.
Let's talk about the Yankees going up against Royals lefty Chris Bubich, who has a 5.53 ERA, 2.84 opponent average. He does have reverse splits also. Lefties are crushing him, 3.90 average. And the last time he faced the Yankees back in April, he gave up first inning bombs to Rizzo and Stanton. So what are you expecting from the Yankees bats today?
Almost 10% of the Yankees plate attempts have gone for a home run off Bubik.
Okay, that's the stat for you.
He's allowing almost 36% hard contact, tons of barreled balls, and we have a 5.8 implied run total for the Yankees. So there's a lot to like here. Also, kind of interested to see what Benintendi does, just because he's so good at getting on base. And, getting a couple guys on base in front of Judge is a pretty good thing.
Oh, man. Think he's going to get 40 today?
Yeah, there's a good chance. Let's
talk about the Rockies on the other side of that Coors Field matchup. They're going up against Dodgers lefty Julio Urias. 2.72 ERA for him and 2.08 opponent average, so some good numbers there. In 3 games against the Rockies, though, this season, they do have a 3.04 average against him, which was a surprising thing that jumped out to me. So,
Yeah,
Tell us more, Tyler.
There's a couple things here. 152 plate attempts versus Urias. They're hitting 329 at 5 home runs, 200 ISO. Urias has a career 5.8 ERA in Colorado. So he has been a very good pitcher, but he has not had success in Colorado. Okay. This game total is by far the highest game total. And then their implied total is 5.2, which, again, it's one of the highest on the slate. So I think that with Colorado not getting much ownership, kind of doing a disfavor to yourself if you're not getting a little bit of them.
I really like these low-owned stacks for today. I mean,
I like
they're very appealing.
Lot of the low-owned stuff on this slate. Yes. So these are the slates that I like playing.
Yeah.
Because
you think you can find
I think there's a little more edge in it, and so I'll probably be playing.
All right.
Yep.
Remember, one of the most important things is that ownership component that Tyler keeps talking about, and you can find all those ownership stats that'll be up to date throughout the day at linestarapp.com, so be sure to check that out, linestarapp.com. And now we'll actually take a look at linestarapp.com with our sleeper picks of the day. Let's take a look at our sleeper pick of the day on DraftKings, and we are in the Linestar app. We're just sorting by value, and this will give us those nice bargain basement deals for daily fantasy. And we've got Luis Gonzalez of the Giants going up against Marcus Stroman today. We'll pull up his player card to learn a little bit more about Mr. Gonzalez. Now, I would keep an eye on this one. There is a note that he is dealing with some back issues, so just keep an eye on if he is, in fact, in the lineup. But if he is, taking a look at the alerts here, he is a top 15% hitter versus right-handed pitchers with 2.04 fantasy points per plate appearance. And he got a nice little wind blowing out to left at 10 miles an hour, so that could be good as well. He's got some great numbers and different splits, 316 average against righties. So that's a good play for you on daily fantasy for $2,000 on DraftKings. But make sure to double check and see if he is in fact in the lineup for today. Now let's take a look at our FanDuel sleeper pick of the day. Who's it gonna be? Jose Miranda. He's going up against Blake Snell, your boy, one of your Padres.
LFG SD.
And let's take a look at Miranda and what he's got going on. Oh, look at what the
he's been crushing it.
Check out those blue numbers that I'm pointing to right now, where he's 25, 22, 25. Those are all his fantasy points. The previous 3 days, he's gone over 20 points the past 3 days in fantasy. He's been crushing it. He's batting fifth. He's a top 10% hitter versus left-handed pitchers. 3 fantasy points per plate appearance. And he has scored, like I mentioned, 24.1 fantasy points past 3 games. Wow.
And a 620 average over the last week.
Just insane. So $2,400, are you kidding me, on FanDuel? What a great value there. So those are your value plays of the day. And remember, for all of this information, you can go to linestarapp.com. Check it out. Now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Who's going yard today on this Friday, July 29th? Man, July's almost over.
It's crazy.
We got to get a 2 for Friday.
We do.
Friday home run calls.
I've been off with my home run calls lately.
Well, if one of us gets it right, that's all that matters. It's a team effort.
It works. It is a team effort.
So who are you going with today for your home run call?
I am going to pick on that ugly colored team in blue, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm going CJ Cron versus Urias. Mm-hmm. So in 20 plate attempts, Cron has 2 home runs, an ISO of 400 versus Urias. Add in the game is in Colorado, where he has a career ERA of 5.8, and I am all in on Colorado today.
All right. I'm headed to the Astros. I'm going Jose Altuve. Now you might be thinking, you're crazy, Shannon. He's going up against Mariners lefty Robbie Ray, who has just been awesome. However, Robbie Ray has the 4th highest home run per 9 rate among qualified pitchers today. So That's at about 1.5 home runs per 9. And when you look at Altuve, he absolutely crushes lefties. 701 slugging percentage, which is over 260 points higher than his slugging percentage against righties. Also, his BVP data versus Ray, listen to this, 11 for 19. 6 of those extra base hits, including 2 home runs. Altuve with a bomb today.
You're going to get a little Ray bomb, huh?
A Ray bomb.
I like it.
Let's get to our prop bets for today.
Yes.
And past few, we've had our props. Our guys haven't been in the lineup, so we'll get back on. Our guys are definitely in the lineup today. I'm
I mean, yesterday my switch, my pivot, Judge did hit. But then,
it definitely hit.
Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yours, unfortunately, ended up not playing.
Right.
And we did not catch that until a little too late.
Sorry about that, guys. But make sure that if you're playing in our prop bets contest, that all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also just write a comment below, and you're automatically entered in to win. If Tyler and I both hit our props, you could win $60. We will announce the winner if we both hit it on the next show, and you can get that $60. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is comment below. Remember, all of our picks for today are going to be available at Prize Picks. If you haven't already, download the Prize Picks app. Again, this is an app that's legal in most states. Yep. And all you have to do is download that. And if you're a new user, deposit at least $10, and you can have your deposit matched up to $100. So it's a really great deal. That link is below, so be sure to sign up for Prize Picks. All right, so now that I got all that out of the way, let's get to our prop bets of the day. Tyler, where are you headed?
Make some cash money.
Let's go.
All right, I am going to go with Austin Riley over 1.5 total bases. Riley's hitting 450 over the last week and 410 over the last month. Guy is simply on fire, and he's a top 5% hitter versus lefties, and Mad Bum does not scare me. So, Austin Riley, we're going with him.
All right, I'm going with Vlad Guerrero Jr. over 1.5 bases. That's at minus 115 on some of the sports books. Now, Vladdy and the Blue Jays going up against Detroit Tigers, Brian Garcia. I believe this is something like their 12th starting pitcher that they've had, different starting pitcher. So this is a guy who's coming up from the minors where he hasn't really gone past 50 pitches. So we're going to see him, but we're also going to see a lot of the bullpen. And when you're talking about a person like Vladdy Guerrero going up against the bullpen, my money's going to be on Vladdy every day of the week. He's also been really hot this past month, 337 average, and in the past week batting 423. He's on fire. And it is International Tigers Day, but my money's on the Blue Jays today. I mean, last time I checked, Tigers don't have wings. Blue Jays, we're going to soar over that 1.5 bases prop.
How was that dad joke? Oh, man, I'm jealous.
We're bringing it this Friday on the pod.
We sure are. Oh, boy.
All right, so those are our prop bets. Again, if we both hit our props, you could win $60. Remember to subscribe, and comment below. Yes.
Have a good one.
I mean, who do you actually think would win in a fight? A Blue Jay or a Tiger?
I don't think the Tiger's catching the Blue Jay.
Exactly. That's why we're going.
But there's no way a Blue Jay beats a Tiger either.
Fair enough. However, for today, the Blue Jays winning.
Yeah, I got it. I like it.
All right. Remember to check out the LineStar app, linestarapp.com, for all the stats and analytics, ownership numbers that we use on this show. We also use it to get our prop picks as well. So it's a great tool for that as well. So be sure to check that out and download the Prize Picks app. That's going to do it for us today. We will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, and good luck to you in your daily fantasy today. Let's go crush it, guys.
Let's do it. Let's all become billionaires.
Let's do it.
Billies. All right.
See you guys.
See you guys.